get ready to get a glimpse of our time in the beautiful Chebera Elephant Paw Lodge in Ethiopia. You'll get a chance to see the highlights of each day, including modern designs, outdoor adventures, and delicious dining. So we continued our journey from Halala Kela Resort. If you haven't seen that video, be sure to click the link below to see how the journey began. We organized a driver from Halala to Chebera. He was very familiar with the area as it was near his hometown, Churchura, and we stopped for an overlook to take in the beautiful landscape and views. And after about 5 hours driving through villages, we passed Amaya and also entered Churchura National Park through the water and up the mountains and arrived at the lodge, which had a beautiful entrance. The lodge is located within the national park that's full of elephants. And the design of the lodge was just amazing. You can see the villa had the elephant theme, and our 2-bedroom villa had a beautiful entrance with the sunlight, and each bedroom with a full bathroom and an amazing living room and dining area with a full kitchen and an amazing view of the mountains. And this was all within the national park with elephants all around. Then we walked over to the pool area, which was unbelievable. It was so serene. It felt like a dream just to be swimming basically in the sky, surrounded by the nature with the sun setting over the mountains. Then we refreshed up and headed to the dining hall for dinner. Very modern interior, and walked towards the deck area under the stars. Dinner was prepared for all the guests, which was a delicious full-course buffet in the restaurant. And then after dinner, we walked a bit more through the lodge, seeing the beautiful villas, landscape, and the famous elephant statue. So then the next day, we got up before the sun rose for a day of adventure. For our park tour, we were thankful to have a talented scout named Ute. And so as we began driving through the park, he sensed that we should stop by the Fluha hot springs because he thought there would be elephants, and he was right. We got out of the car and slowly walked down the mountain following Ute, and immediately we saw a whole group of elephants, small and large ones, and we were so surprised. And these were just a few of the hundreds of elephants in the park. Also, our scout's name Ute in their local language means gift in English, or sitota in Amharic, and he was truly a gift for us. When the elephants left the springs, we went down and felt the hot springs and then continued our journey through the park. So we drove to Bulo Hike, which is a lake where a new resort is being built. And then we continued through the park and we stopped along the road and walked through some bushes and tall trees. And then we were so surprised to see this large, massive, loud waterfall that was connected to a large rushing river also in the forest. And we all captured the moments. We got a little wet over here. And then we looked up and we saw a suspension bridge above, which we've seen before in videos, but never anything like this. It was so cool. Just so many hidden gems within the national park. So we walked around to walk on the top of the bridge, and we enjoyed the view of the bridge and the view of the falls from the other side. Then we drove back to the lodge and had some nice brunch. And we rested a little bit. We admired every detail of the lodge. On the walls, you can see all the animals that were carved in the stone. Every detail, really cool to see all the thought that was put in it. Then at 1 p.m., we headed back out of the lodge to go for searching for some buffalo, which in Amharic is called gosh. So we drove through the other mountains with our scout, who guided us through the tall grass to a nice viewpoint that we climbed, and we saw a huge herd of buffalo in the distance. And Ute made some buffalo sounds with his voice to call the buffalo. We also climbed the car for better views, and our driver actually knew exactly where to go. He was up there from the beginning. And then I got Ethio to come join me on the top. Then on the way back, we stopped by to pick up some corn from some locals, and we drove back into the lodge, enjoyed some more of the views, and then we headed over to the dining hall again for our final dinner at the lodge. And we were actually surprised when we got there because they had prepared a table for us outside on the deck under the stars. Then this is the early morning sunrise from our room. We woke up, enjoyed the view one more time, and took another walk around the compound. And then we toured the presidential suite. The presidential suite was spectacular. We were so surprised. The furniture, top quality. All of the intricate details. And then there's this really nice office space inside the presidential suite. And then the view from outside, you can see the elephant paw-shaped pool. And then we took a tour of the Konta Museum. The museum shows all of the tradition of the Konta people, and it was so nice to see their resources. And then we headed out early with our driver to Jima. You can see the asphalt road. The Chinese were already working on the road. And then we got to Jima, checked into our hotel, and went out to explore it since it was our first time in Jima. Well, at least my sister's and my first time. Then we jumped into a Bajaj who drove us around the city to see the large spots. And then we got back to the hotel, had dinner, and went out again for an evening walk, which was very lively around the city. Then the next morning at the hotel, we had breakfast and then got a ride to see the palace. But on the way, we saw the Jima University entrance and were surprised to see how many buildings and units there were across the campus. And in the distance, you can see the palace over there. It's the King Abba Jifar Palace. They informed us it was still under construction, but we got a taxi to take us up to the top, and we got a little tour It was actually completed a few months after our visit, and now it looks amazing. And our taxi driver was a friend of King Abba Jifar's grandson, so we got to see this tour of their childhood home. Then we drove back through the city. You can see the stadium. We drove back to our hotel, and before heading back to our hotel, we first walked a little bit around the city with the locals, and we then got our shoes cleaned fully with the shoelaces coming off and taking all the dust and dirt from our adventures outside. Then we got our shuttle, headed to the airport, back to Addis. The airport was called Jima Abba Jifar Airport after the king that lived there. Then we landed in Addis. We took a shuttle at the airport, and we actually ran into a group of pastors and singers who were coming from a crusade in Bonga, Ethiopia on our flight. And what an adventure. Thankful to spend my birthday week in this place.